Texas just made Bitcoin history, not a company, not a billionaire, not a sovereign nation, but a US state using taxpayer money to buy Bitcoin. This is bigger than people realize. It's legal, it's funded, it's confirmed, and it could trigger the first crypto arms race inside the United States. Here's what this means for Bitcoin next. This is your Altcoin Buzz news. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Cody, and if you're new here, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know when we drop latest content. Follow us on Twitter, altcoinbuzz.io, and as always, is not financial advice, and wish you the best of luck in your crypto ventures. Also, make sure to join us for our X Spaces, Tuesday to Friday at 9 a.m. EST, link down below. Alright, good morning guys. So Bitcoin is more or less pretty much just chopping around the same area, around $87,000. Usually that is typical after a big sell-off like this. We do get some sideways chop to really just kind of, chop people out of their positions, whether they're, longing from the bottom here and they're rethinking it, or if they're shorting and then they're also rethinking if we're going to come back up here and their short is going to be, out of profit soon. So we are just kind of chopping around and making people kind of sit and wonder in their positions. So it is kind of just a time to really be doing nothing in terms of positioning. But we are starting to reject around this $88,000 level. What we don't want to see is us come back down here and take out, $78,000, which is a possibility. What we do want to see is this, where we kind of start to make higher lows and higher highs here and start to build this new uptrending bullish market structure. So this is what I'm looking for and I hope we get, but it is very possible we are just rejecting here and coming back down towards $78,000. But we do have some very good news today, which is the focus of the news today, which is Texas becomes the first state to buy Bitcoin, investing $10 million into a strategic reserve. So a very big thing. So the Texas Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Bill SB 21 officially passes and goes to the governor's desk for final signature.
Today is a pivotal moment in securing Texas's leadership in the digital age with the passage of our Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. Now we embrace a modern asset with traditional properties but future promise. This reserve not only strengthens our fiscal sovereignty, but positions Texas as a forward-thinking state prepared for the evolution of global finance.
Then we have Eric Balchunas saying the state of Texas joining Harvard and Abu Dhabi in recent IBIT purchase. Pretty sure that's the only ETF to be owned by all three. More wild stuff for a not even yet 2-year-old fund. Then we have Marty Party saying Texas has indeed made history by becoming the first U.S. state to allocate and purchase Bitcoin using public funds for a dedicated strategic reserve. On November 25th, 2025, the state executed a $10 million investment in Bitcoin through BlackRock's Spot ETF, fulfilling the framework established earlier in the year. This move positions Texas as a pioneer in state-level cryptocurrency adoption, signaling broader institutional interest in Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation and a tool for financial innovation. It was a top priority and drew inspiration from federal discussions on a national Bitcoin reserve under President Trump. As for the funding and structure, the $10 million allocation is equivalent to just 0.0004% of Texas's $338 billion biennial budget and creates a standalone reserve managed independently by the Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts outside the main state treasury, which is very important. This protects it from the routine fiscal sweeps, and the reserve can hold Bitcoin and potentially other cryptocurrencies with a market cap over $500 billion. Currently, only Bitcoin qualifies, and residents can also donate Bitcoin to bolster it. So this reserve is outside of the, the main treasury so that, they can't be taken from, at some point when they do have these fiscal sweeps. So it is outside of the main treasury account, meaning it can only accumulate Bitcoin and they can't take money out of this. As for the execution, the actual purchase occurred today via spot Bitcoin ETFs, making it the first taxpayer-funded state acquisition of Bitcoin. And while Arizona and New Hampshire passed similar authorization bills earlier, they have not committed or spent public funds, making Texas a trailblazer. And then we have the Bitcoin therapist saying this is the head of strategy at Coinbase, and he presents an incredibly bullish case for Bitcoin at $87,000. Not to mention Texas just bought $10 million worth of Bitcoin today. The fundamentals are stronger than ever.
Nothing's really changed since the all-time high. If we just step back and think about structurally, in fact, you can argue the news coming out about Citibank, JP Morgan, both leveraging stablecoins at a huge scale. The Czechoslovakian National Bank has come out and announced they will be the first Eurozone country to purchase Bitcoin for the Treasury. Clarifying rules from the IRS. Harvard Endowment announcing they own more Bitcoin than gold. All of those things are structurally very, very positive. From the exchange point of view, we're not seeing a massive increase in open interest in our futures market. CME, you can check it yourself. I was always taught early on, a declining price market accompanied by a rapidly declining open interest means the market is breaking down structurally. People are exiting the market forever. When I look at Bitcoin, I see the number of active Bitcoin wallets roughly the same as it was 3 months ago. I see both CME and Coinbase futures open interest, again, ticking down a little bit, but not nearly in line with price direction. And so I go back to the very, very basic principle of if I like apples, I don't like them less because they're on sale. And so if you like this asset, you like it more. If you don't like this asset, if you've never liked this asset, you now have the microphone for a few months or a few weeks, we'll see how long, and enjoy that moment.
And then we have Pierre Rochard, who responds to this comment saying, that's not even a dozen eggs, talking about the $10 million of Bitcoin bought for their strategic reserve. And he says, in 5 years, we went from governments will ban Bitcoin to governments are only buying a small amount of Bitcoin. Hyper-Bitcoinization has happened, is happening, and will continue to happen. And then Shanaka says, the Rubicon has been crossed. On November 20th, 2025, Texas executed what no American state dared before. A single $5 million Bitcoin purchase of BlackRock's IBIT at the average price of $86,632. 57 Bitcoin now sit in state treasury. This is not legislation. This is not a proposal. This is execution. While 18 states drafted laws and debated frameworks, Texas acted. The first domino has fallen. The numbers, though, echo through history. Texas commands a $24.8 billion rainy day fund, and today Bitcoin entered that equation. An initial allocation from $10 million authorized under Senate Bill 21, signed by Governor Abbott in June. 45 states now have active Bitcoin reserve legislation. 0 had executed until now. What this triggers, the cascade is mathematical. 4 to 8 states are positioned to follow within 18 months, collectively commanding over $1.2 trillion in reserves. Institutional inflows projected between $300 million to $1.5 billion in near-term mimicry. This is not speculation, this is game theory in motion. The civilization inflection. We exist in a $110 trillion global debt regime. Traditional reserve assets are melting under monetary expansion. Texas has placed a falsifiable bet that decentralized scarcity outperforms centralized dilution. Self-custody protocols are pending. The infrastructure is being built in real time. And what comes next? Watch Q1 2026 disclosures, track state filing patterns, monitor ETF flows accelerating. The precedent is set, the template exists, and the political cover has been provided. History will remember November 2025 as the day American public treasuries acknowledge what markets already knew. The monetary order is being rewritten, and Texas fired the first shot. So that is Texas becoming the first state. At the same time, we have all this other coverage too. We have Florida, which is filed to buy Bitcoin with part of its state funds. We have state of Wyoming has introduced a bill for strategic Bitcoin reserve. We also have at the same time Oklahoma moved to invest 10% of public funds in Bitcoin and top crypto assets, not even just Bitcoin. And so I do think this will create a domino effect. So it makes sense that Texas is the first one to do this. And I think we'll see a lot more states start to follow soon after. Lastly, for today, we have M42, Constellation, and DFNN launch Web3 National Lottery. So over in the Philippines, this collaboration will allow Filipino users to purchase regulated national lottery tickets using cryptocurrency, creating a tangible bridge between traditional gaming and digital assets. On the tech side, M42's AI platform integrates with Constellation Network's Hypergraph Network, a decentralized framework that ensures secure, scalable, and transparent data exchange. Constellation's DAG token powers data validation and security within the network. DFNN brings this extensive experience with regulated operations. It'll provide the necessary licensing and infrastructure for lotteries, banking, exchanges, and online trading. This combination enables real-world applications that are both compliant and innovative. For example, a lottery ticket purchase using crypto could be instantly verified and secured recorded on the blockchain, while AI ensures compliance with regulatory rules and fraud prevention. The Philippines, which ranks 4th globally in crypto adoption, with nearly 13% of the population using digital assets, presents an ideal testbed for these technologies. The lottery sector alone accounts for over 45% of the nation's gaming revenue, offering a clear pathway for blockchain adoption. So that is a clear-cut real-world use case of blockchain adoption over in the Philippines. And that is the video for today, guys. As we're kind of just chopping around this area, I don't think there's much to do. I think it's going to kind of test people's patience who are in positions right now, if they were long at the bottom or if they were short from up here. I think we're going to just kind of chop in this area for a little bit longer. What we do want to see is a new uptrend start to form here, at least on the daily time frame, going back above $88,000 and start to make this new higher highs and higher lows. So that is the video for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow.